More police come, ambulances, they had to get a fire truck to pick the car up off of me and take me to the hospital. And so what they found out was I had shattered my pelvis, I broke my spine, damaged a lot of nerves that were leading to my legs. So I had like dropped foot and I couldn't move my legs. And so, they said I was lucky to be alive.
Welcome to the Miracle Academy. This is your host, Scotty Cooper, and this is where miracles are expected. Welcome to the Miracle Academy podcast. This is your host, Scotty Cooper. Today, I've got a special guest and my friend, Marco. So Marco, he's amazing. He's done so many cool things, and he has got one of the most amazing healing stories I've ever heard. And I'm honored to have you here today.
Yeah, definitely. I think, us working together, my healing story is going to get even more amazing with what we're doing, right?
Absolutely.
So, super excited to be here.
Definitely. So, Marco, why don't you tell us a little bit about your journey and a little bit about your story. What happened?
Yeah, so right now I am a CEO of a social media agency, and so I work a lot with influencers and personal branding, but obviously my story started way back then, so I'll start off with that. When I was a kid, super into sports, super into like just athletic things, baseball, football. Skateboarding was the one sport that I got into that I was just absolutely in love with. This is the sport I want to do. It was so like by myself, challenging myself, and so I started, progressing in that, and I got some sponsors, and I wanted to be a pro skater. That's what I wanted to do. Even though I'm an entrepreneur at heart, I would buy and sell things. Skateboarding was that one sport that just like called out to me. So as I was doing that, I'm like 15 years old at the time. There was a huge accident that just completely shifted my life and put it on another course. I was skateboarding on Halloween. It was Halloween, like about to be nighttime on Halloween, and I was skateboarding down a hill, no helmet on, just feeling free, going really, really fast because I was pretty good. 5 years of skateboarding since I was 10. I hit a crack though, a crack I didn't see, and I flew into the street. And as I flew into the street, I saw a tire coming straight from my face. And when I see this tire, I had like a split second to react, and so I move my head, and the tire goes right over my shoulder and completely rams me over.
Wow. And
the car drags me across the street like 10-15 feet, and my friend luckily was there to like bang on the window to stop the car. And so I'm stuck pinned under this car from my waistline from the bottom of the car to the bottom of the ground. And I was just like laying there in a puddle of my blood in agony, like, oh my God, like I'm about to die. That's what I thought. I'm like, this is really close to death. And I remember like closing my eyes and like just about to go out, and my friend's like, no, don't close your eyes, don't go to sleep. And I was like, oh, I can't die. No, there's no way I can die here. I'm like 15, so I had a lot of like strength in me, right? And so more police come, ambulances, they had to get a fire truck to pick the car up off of me and take me to the hospital. And so what they found out was I had shattered my pelvis, I broke my spine, damaged a lot of nerves that were leading to my legs. So I had like dropped foot and I couldn't move my legs. And so, they said I was lucky to be alive, and I would never skate again. Those are their words. And I was just so like, obviously when they first told me, I was, all this pain medicine, just healing, like trying to heal, just trying to figure out what's happening to me. But that carried on in my mentee, like, hey, you're not going to skate again. You're going to be in a wheelchair. And so, as I left the hospital about a month later, I was in a wheelchair. I had this belief in me that I would get back up. I don't know what it was, but I was like, I love skateboarding so much. I had a passion for it. Mm-hmm. That passion is what brought me back into like that belief mode. And I just believed every single day it's going to happen. It's going to happen until one day my toes started moving. And I remember laying in bed just trying to move my toes every day. And I was like, oh, I didn't move today. I'll move tomorrow, right? Just believing it would. And then they did. And the doctor said, hey, it's a miracle, we'll have another surgery and you're going to be able to walk. And even more a miracle, you're going to be able to skate again. And wow. So that happened between 15 to 16 and a half years old. And then I was able to get back up and hop on my skateboard.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So you know what, actually I've never shared with you, when I was about maybe a couple years younger than that, I had a crazy accident.
Really?
Yeah, not near your level, but I was going down a hill our hill on a bike, and I was getting speed wobble, and I was coming down, and I luckily had a helmet on, but a car was coming up, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna kind of drift back this way, and I hit something, and I flipped over.
Ooh.
But what's crazy is I hit right here on my helmet, and my helmet went from like the super thick stuff to that right here,
Oh wow.
which would have been obviously my head.
Right.
And it was kind of crazy. And in mine was actually almost a spiritual experience. I had this thing where I basically was watching myself from above, and someone told me like, "Hey, you're not done yet. You've got bigger things for you."
Yeah.
And you're gonna be fine. Just
Totally.
know that this is how precious life is and what you need to do with it.
So crazy.
And it's kind of crazy that we both had similar crazy experiences that helped guide us. And for mine, I was like knocked out for like 4 hours, and I woke up in the hospital crying.
Wow.
And then luckily a lot of the injuries were nothing really severe. It was just kind of my skin, like if you see like I've got like a little scar right there. But through our nutrition and laser and all the things we did, we were able to get it down to just that from the whole side of my face.
I actually had my whole face too, because I was being dragged on the street, so my whole face was like ripped up.
Wow.
And so I had this big old scar that got reduced to like you can't even see it right now, but there's like a little line right there as well.
Yeah.
It got reduced to like that small.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And for me, it felt like it propelled me to see like you're on this earth for a reason.
Yep.
And you've got to find it. And I feel like that's kind of what happened with you.
It did. After, it was weird because, I'm 15, 16 years old at the time, and I went into this just depressed mode. Even though I should be grateful for like just being able to heal, I was, I went back to school, I had lost 50 pounds. I was super white because I was just indoors laying in bed all day, right? I couldn't move. And I had a bunch of acne all over my face because all these pain medications I was taking. And I hated the pain medicine so much that one day I was like, I don't want to take it no more. I don't care about being in pain. I'm just not going to take it. I don't like how it makes me feel. And it was actually, I had to go right to the hospital that day because you're not allowed to stop pain medicine like that, like how I did.
Right.
And I was like having stomach problems. And like, no, you need to like ease off the pain medicine.
Yeah.
So, no, I got into depressed mode. And from that, I found meditation. And meditation was really what changed my life. Like I meditated only because it made me feel better.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I'm depressed, I'm sad, but meditation makes me feel good. So I did it like 6 to 7 hours a day for like 3 months. I mean, I'm like 18, 17 years old, a couple years later. I really had nothing else to do, right? School and stuff. But what I found out was there's so much other benefits just in feeling better. Like I got so tapped in with like, this is what I'm here to do on earth. This is what my mission is. This is what I need to do. Like I need to inspire other people that, maybe went through something similar that I did, right? That, had to face something big in their life, and just for them to know, as long as you stay motivated, no matter what happens, you can make anything you set your mind like to achieve. And that's something that I did, and I believed in it. I stayed motivated. I achieved it, and I think so many other people can reap the same benefits of just that mindset. So from that is where I started my first company, Motive, which is a motivational lifestyle brand, right? To motivate people and inspire people, and so I felt the same way you did. Like kind of like even though I wanted to be pro, even though like this is my plan, God had a bigger plan for me.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why I'm here.
Wow, that's so cool. So you started with that brand, and then so how have you transitioned to that to what you're doing now? Because you're still doing that as well, right?
Yeah, so I actually just jumped back into Motive recently. So I had to put a pause on it. I started off with Motive, and I realized I need to learn social media. Because I was putting it out there, I was posting every day, I was on Instagram. I was getting some clients here and there, and some customers, and I made like at the most $1,000 to $2,000 a month in revenue, not profit, in revenue in the clothing brand industry. So it's not that much. So I understood that I needed to learn social media. I found mentors, I found people that understood it, I got into it, and I realized how cutthroat the industry is. There's so many social media agencies, so many people trying to help with social media that aren't doing it authentically and are not helping the right people. And I just wanted to kind of help people that were on the same mission as me. I was like, there's other people that are on God's mission, other people that are like aligned with purpose. I just want to get their message out there. I want to help those people, because I realized that if I help other people get what they want, I will help myself get what I want, right? With Motive. And so for the last 2.5, 3 years, I had started iLegends, which is helping people build their personal brands, increase their reputation so they can, put traffic into their business and grow out, their message. And so it's been 2.5 years, and I just literally like the last 30 to 60 days been working on Motive, and going to release it back in January 1st or January 7th. of 2021.
Wow.
And so I've had a lot of time where I had to focus on other people's brands and help build the business and hire people, train others to do what I've done. And I finally got to the point where other people understand how I do business and how I'm able to help people build their brands, that I can kind of step out a little bit and that will go back into motive, which was my original passion that I got after my accident.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think one of the things that I really like about iLegends and working with you guys, like you said, the kind of being authentic. And there's so many people in the world that kind of lack that and don't have that authenticity. And now I think like authenticity is such an important like currency today.
It is. Yeah.
And I think that that's something that you guys and that you do very well, is you highlight that and you help people truly see those things.
Right. Yeah. Because if you're not authentic, then people can see right through that, right? People are on social media, they're scrolling, like people's attention span now is like the size of a pea. It's like in 2 seconds, if you don't have their attention, like they're gone, right? And if you're not authentic, you're not going to grab their attention.
Yeah.
Because they can see the BS that they just kind of scroll past by every day.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you help people connect with that, to be authentic? How do you do that?
Well, it's pretty much playing to their strengths, right? Like, what do you do? What do you love to do? How do you help people? Let's focus on what you do, not what is trendy.
Yeah.
Even though it's cool to go on trends and like follow that to get more attention and stuff like that, I think focusing on the message behind the person, first and foremost. I think that's just being authentic goes far beyond just social media, right? Being authentic in a business, as a business owner, right? You guys are extremely authentic with what you do. You stand out. You're different. And that's how you can tell when authenticity is true, when there's a slight difference, right? When everyone's doing the same exact thing, it's not authenticity. But when you can see a creative like energy that just comes from someone, right? Or it comes from a business. Like when you walk into Cooperstown, you can just feel it. You're like, oh wow, this is the way everything is, positioned, the branding, the way you're treated by the people that on the staff. Like there's authenticity behind it. So I think it goes way beyond social media for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. So what's been your experience so far with being here at Cooperstown?
So it's been, about a month and a half that I've been getting my first chiropractic adjustments. I honestly didn't even think about it. I really didn't like the traditional doctors, right? Them telling me I couldn't do something kind of gave me a negative relationship with that, right? Like, oh, you can't heal. I'm like, I could heal. I healed myself, right? And I kind of dived into the mindset to figure out how did I do it, right? With belief and all that. So I love the fact when I walked in here, there was so much that played into that factor, right? Like it's all about you first and foremost healing yourself and helping you heal yourself. And I love that because I'm just like, that's more of like what I feel is true. Because I'm scared to go to the doctors. Like I have still back pain now. I still have metal in my body. I still have to go through pain and like figure out ways to not go through pain. And I'm scared to go to the doctors. I'm scared to go then be like, oh, just take pain medicine or just do this. I'm like, I've been down that route and I don't want to continue going down that route. So I'm so excited like working with you guys because it's like, it makes me feel like, okay, it's all on me. The ball's in my court. You guys are just helping me kind of just play to my strengths, right? Just helping me like get aligned. So it's been good. I think I'm definitely reap more of the benefits long term because nothing happens overnight. But after being adjusted a couple of times and just the education you guys have been telling me like since I've got here has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. And that's really a thing that I feel like we emphasize here is that it's no longer, the thing is like you said, when you go to the doctor, there's not a lot of responsibility for you. You show up, they say, here's a medication, and that's it. Yep. You go home, you take it. There's not a lot of things there. Whereas for us, it's more like, hey, we're going to educate you. These are the things you need to change. Like we've talked about before, changing your toothpaste to being like fluoride free, or that if you have a specific problem, maybe antibiotics isn't the right answer to that. Maybe something else.
And before you go into that, just the toothpaste, like that's crazy, right? Like fluoride. Doctors are all about, like other doctors, like it's all about fluoride, right? Like, they don't even care about it. But with you guys, it's like, no, fluoride, it like damages the pineal gland, right? Like there's certain things about, and then I started educating myself. Once you told me, I'm like, started diving deeper into why fluoride is bad. Yeah. I realized, oh my God, a lot of things have fluoride. Our water has fluoride. Making sure we drink alkaline water is huge. Yeah. So I love that. Yeah, it's cool. So another thing too about fluoride, and one of the big reasons we don't like it is that fluoride is in the same column on the periodic table as iodine. And the thyroid needs iodine to create different hormones and do different things it does. And the thing is that the thyroid sees fluoride and say, oh, I think that looks like iodine, like my friend iodine over there, I'm going to go grab it.
And then when those bond together, that's a big problem. And it creates a lot of different issues.
Gotcha.
And so just like you said, like that's why we try to get rid of that. But that's the amazing thing about here is that you have that education and now you're equipped to make better choices and do better things, and that you can allow the power that was within you the whole time to do the healing.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. I think health is a lifestyle, right? Like you gotta change your life in different areas to be more healthy. Not just get prescribed medicine to be healthy. So totally.
Definitely. And I feel like not everyone's always ready for that. You know, some people aren't ready to be responsible yet. They will eventually, but people find us when they're ready for it. And I feel like that's kind of what happened with us.
Totally.
That
it's funny, like you guys help people get aligned in the spine, right?
Yeah.
And spiritually, everything else is alignment, right? You're here when you need to be here. You meet the right people, and you guys' office is booming. I don't know how you guys don't have second, third, fourth, fifth location. Like exactly. You guys don't have, I don't think you guys can fit any more people in this place.
Right.
But I love alignment. Like I meditate every morning. I'm all about being aligned with my higher self because I believe that, you know, there's more work to do than the work that we selfishly want to do for ourselves on the planet, and being aligned kind of gets you connected with that, like what you should be doing, how you should be treating people. There was a point in my life when, you know, I was depressed around that 16 to 18 time where I was treating some of the people that I loved the most the worst, and that's something that hurt me so much. And realized, like, you know, when I'm aligned, I know how to treat others, right? I know how to treat myself, right? I know what I need to do, what I want to do, and what I need to do is in synchronicity, right? In one. So I love alignment.
That's cool. So what would you say to someone that maybe had a crazy accident or was in a similar situation as you, or maybe even a parent that has a kid that had something like that happen? What do you think is the biggest key for them to be able to heal?
I think that one thing that's huge is mindset. It's huge. So especially like if you're a parent and your kid's going through something, I would say give them the mindset that they could heal. Give them the mindset that it's going to be all right. That, you know, the best case scenario is the scenario that's going to happen, right? Because if you can have them believe that, it's going to happen, right? Because our minds are so powerful. They'll move things in order to match your beliefs. Yeah. And so I say that being number one is just help develop the right belief that they are going to heal. Yeah. Everything else will kind of just flow with that.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. So for people that want to follow your story more, or to be just, they watch this and they say, like, I love Marco and I love all the things that he does. How do they find your brand? How do they do all that?
So I have titled Marco the Champion on most of my social media handles. Yeah. My original last name was Chavez, and I actually changed it to Champion, specifically because of all the stuff that I've been through, like with my accident and with all the pain that I've gone through, and I changed it to Champion. So Marco Champion is where you'll find me. And I talk more about, like, you know, personal branding and reputation, because I believe that, you know, in order to get your message out there, in order to get your business to grow, I feel like, you know, your reputation is everything. Yeah. And the more that people know, like, and trust you, the more your business is going to get its, you know, fair share of value. So
right. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on today. This is really cool. I love, because every time we talk, there's something else that I feel like we align with. So I totally appreciate it. And then, you know what I really want to do is eventually, when you have done more of the work with us and you've had even more of a miracle, I'd love for you to come back and talk about that.
Definitely.
And I think that's definitely what both of us are focused on, is that that's going to be in our future.
For sure. This is part 1. You guys stay tuned for part 2 and part 3, because it's going to be ridiculous.
Exactly. Cool. Thank you so much.
Of course.
So this is Scotty Cooper with the Miracle Academy. Thank you so much for watching.